Hello boys and girls, and welcome to a let's play of Zork Nemesis, a game I played in 1996. It's been such a long time, 10 years, and I loved this game. It's a very strange game. It's a sort of adventure exploration puzzle game. I don't remember too much of it, except for one or two scenes. It took a while to set up. It's not ideal, but I think we can go like this. It's the old 640 by 480 SVGA resolution, 256 colors under DOS, running under DOS box obviously, and sadly missing all the extra materials, extra paper manuals and stuff you get in the CD cover. You are a sort of agent exploring a very special circumstances of a strange place, death of somebody, circumstances of death of somebody. It is the third sequel of the Zork series, the first two of them being text adventure games I've never played, and I probably never will. But this one was at the time of 1996, where there was a great wave of popularity and interest in these interactive movie games. A game which would feel like an interactive movie with lots of cutscenes, never seen before, video footage, with the ascent of with the ascent of CD as the data medium, where suddenly games released on CDs had much more space they ever could have thought about having on a classical hard drive, which at time back then had only a couple of 100 MB of size. So CD was the medium to go to if you wanted a lot of video content and lots of cutscenes in the game. So let's start Zork Nemesis. Let's dive into this fantasy world of mystery and detective puzzle work. You see how they even saved space to in the video size by interlacing it with empty lines. They only have half the lines scanned of the video, interlaced by nothing, by black space. It cut the video size by half.
No one remembers exactly when it began, but I'll never forget. It began on the day of the great eclipse, on the day of my murder. I've lost my only love, and I've lost my life. Now we all lie under the curse. Sometimes a single act can be so evil it can curse the world, unraveling the future. Only the four lost elements will bring the world back into balance. Then I will live again. I have but one hope left, and it is you. No one else dares come here.
Zork Nemesis, here we go. only the 4 lost elements. We saw the symbols of certain planet signs there. I recall only the first 2, first being Jupiter, second being Mars, and the other two I don't know. Yes. So you have these places. There's a map, a level map basically, and you have places to go, and there are places you can freely look. It's not a complete 3D game where you could move around freely. You can move only from spot to spot, and in certain spots you can look around 360 freely but not move, and in certain spots you cannot look at all but solve the puzzle. So here we have a spot where we can look around freely. The scrolling is rather fast here. So here's the gate which we went through, and now we've come to another spot where we cannot look around. We can interact with items signified by this yellow glowing arrow, and here we have an animation telling us that okay, this gate is closed and you're not able to open it, so we can back off, scroll again, or move around. We can go places like this and then look around freely but not really interact with anything here. We see some places to sit here. Cliff. I think it's very Myst-like. Although I haven't played Myst myself, I think it's very much like that, in that very same spirit. So here we come a little bit closer up the stairs. Back there we see the gate. Mark Morgan did the music. He also did Planescape Torment. Oh, look at that, Paul. Thanks for the input. I don't know where. How this. So, remember what the voice said. That there's a certain curse here, and only the 4 elements can bring her back to life. It's all a mysterious game. So let's dive into the mystery. I don't know whether these symbols have anything to say here, but it looks like we are at the entrance to a big temple sort of building or anything. We have a sun symbol here. We can go around it. We see that's a big. And there are marble pillars, or sort of, I don't know what sort of stone is that, pillars around it, and seems to be a 4-sided column of symbols, sun symbol with some candle stands, and this looks like a door, an opened door. The room we can enter inside of this 4-sided thing, and this is exactly the first moment I remember from the game where I explored things around here in this sort of crypt, you could say, seeing the coffin here, where I said, oh, this is going to be an awesome game, because recently at that time I have read somewhere, I don't know where it was, but I have read about the devil and the depictions of devil in European culture and medieval books, and at some point I read that the violin as a musical instrument was somehow associated with the devil. I don't know exactly why and all the circumstances, but just this stuck in my mind, that somehow the violin is as a symbol of the devil. And I opened this and saw this. You know, in this game you always reveal some sort of hints and seemingly random stuff, and at some point it starts to make sense and connect, and you get the view of a big picture in this game. And that's what I loved about this. It is perfect. So when I saw this, without any comment, like a sarcophag and magically a violin instrument appearing from it, playing some tune. I don't even remember the tune. Let's see it. Oh, there's some letter here, and look at that. It makes sense to explore things twice here. I will be there, waiting at the gates of hell. And that's where I knew, of course, they have read the same text. They knew violin is somehow associated with the devil, and that's why they choose the violin as an instrument. At the gates of hell, you will not escape my wrath. So that's where I knew, okay, this game is not for the casual player. This game is for the thinking player. This is going to be a great puzzle game. Probably just like Myst, as Yugoslavenka suggests. Try to play Myst. I guess I would have just as much as enjoy playing Myst as this. But I have forgotten almost everything I've played in this game. So it will be pretty much new to me. I mean, I forgot all of the puzzles. I have a couple of points from the main story in my mind, still remembering them. But that's about it. Visual says, don't do drugs. I don't do drugs, I just do alcohol. All right, let's proceed further. So what did the text actually say? I will wait for you at the gates of hell, he said. Right? Let's read it again. And eventually I remember making screenshot of all of these letters appearing in the game and print them out in color at the color ink printer, and cut them out of paper and just shoveling through them at times of leisure and short pauses, just to think about the game and how to progress, just to read these letters again. Maybe I should do it. So I will be there waiting at the gates of hell. You will not escape my wrath. He will be waiting. I don't know who. We are just exploring here. We are an agent sent here by special agent forces or something like that. It's what I remember from the additional material coming with the game. Yeah, as you can see, the graphic is not too advanced. So this is where we came from, and this is the game gate to the big building we saw in the flyover sequence we are about to enter. So now we've entered screen where we still can 360 look around. We see 3 schools here on this side and 3 schools on this side. There is an arrow pointing down, which is unlike the backwards arrow. It's probably to look down. And on the bottom we see nothing but cobbled floor. But we can look up and down. So you see, they didn't even have 6 degrees of freedom look around. They either had 360 degrees left or right, or 360 degrees up and down, which is not even 360 degrees, which is less than 180 degrees, but it was one axis to look like this, and then change the animation mode or the movement mode to this axis and look left or right like this. So they didn't even allow you look 360 all over, like it was the custom in Quake or something. So that was back then in 1996. Will says, I've never seen a game like this before. It's really disorienting. Lol. Yeah, it needs some. At the time of the release of the game, that was practically the not the pinnacle, but like a good measure of movie interacting games. As I said, it was released at the times where gamers and the public expected lots of movie content delivered on CDs. I remember this game came on 4 CDs, which felt really amazing when at the time where games were released on a CD with a 200 megabyte content. This game had a whopping 1.6 gigabytes of content, which nobody was supposed to copy on their hard drive, because hard drives back then were not as big. So, as Optimus says, in its time, this graphics was priceless, and it really was. I remember. So here we have a sign. I think we have an arrow pointing to it, so we can explore it further. Let's read what the sign says above the door, if I can manage to zoom in it. When the sun and moon are joined, the entrance to the eternity is opened. Of course, obviously that's a hint from the gamer's point of view. This gate will probably not open until we somehow join the sun and the moon. We have seen the symbol of the sun at all 4 walls, or at least 3 of the walls of the room we have visited with the sarcophagus. The entrance to eternity is opened. Yeah, so as you can see, this is not opened. We cannot interact with the floor. We can change the movement to 360 left or right again, with 3 skulls here, 3 skulls here, and no up or down zoom. So let's see. We have seen the symbol of the sun here. Let's somehow find the symbol of the moon. I don't know where to find it, to be honest. I really don't remember how I opened this gate. It's so long ago. It's been 10 years since I've played this. There is something strange down here. I don't know what it is here, this thing. We cannot really interact with this. But there is this cliff. We can only go in one direction away from it. And I have no idea where will I found the symbol of the moon. This is the gate we visited and interacted with before. It seems to be that there is another location to visit here. The scrolling is rather fast, I think. There seems to be a fountain down there, but I can't really get closer to it. This seems like a fountain. Well, it's only for depiction there. I don't know where the symbol of the moon is. We can enter the room once more in case we've missed something here, but I don't think there is anything here we can interact with. Do you have any ideas? Nia Wolf says, I always wanted to play this and Grand Inquisitor, but never did, so you have now the chance. What will you do? I mean, you have seen the gate with the inscription, when sun and moon conjoin, we've seen the symbol of the sun, but do you see anywhere the symbol of the moon? I don't. The scrolling is rather fast, I think. But there's nothing I can interact with right here. Maybe if you go to this side, it's also the symbol of the sun. Just think along with me, because I have absolutely no idea how to open that gate. And there is not too many things to interact with here. There's only 4 sides of this thing. And I certainly don't see any symbol of the moon. Or do we see anything like a moon? Dan says, can you not scroll with the arrow keys? Yes, but it's even faster. Okay, arrow keys allow me to scroll. If I just tip it lightly, I can scroll. Yeah, thanks. That's a great. And I can go forward. If I see the forward arrow, that's good. I think the 4 sides depict the sun. Yes, they do. This is the depiction of the sun. And when the sun and moon join, it said, the gate to eternity will open. The moon must be inside or somewhere outside hidden. That's what I'm thinking. Yet I don't see it anywhere. Do you see it? Have you noticed anything which could... We've seen the strange symbols of the wall here, right? But wait a moment, we don't really know what they mean. These things are, and they look strange. We can go back, that's for sure. So that limits our radius of search here. I don't see any sort of moon here. So this is the room we've been to. This is the symbol of the sun here and here. There's a huge building behind it. The moon must be inside or somewhere outside hidden. Yeah, outside. Wow, what was this? Can you inspect those symbols? No, the arrow is not lighting up golden. We cannot interact with this sun symbol. Okay, from this perspective, the things on the wall look slightly different and slightly more meaningful, but still not like moon, right? So what was inside? Do we see anything like a moon? This is just a door which seems to be just rotating along its vertical axis. What's the symbol of the moon here? Maybe we can interact with the candle, because when there is moon on the sky, it's dark usually. So maybe if we blow off the candle, it will become dark and we will see something like the moon. Let's interact here. And we have the movie cutscene. And it's like a memory or a flashback or something which happened here before.
Finally, someone has come. You've got to help us.
And it's the same voice from the intro.
They're in the temple.
You've got to help us. They are in the temple. All right, so we have interacted with this, and Will had the right idea. Can you light candles? Some are lit and some aren't. Optimus says that candle inside plays some important role, I'm sure, and you were right, Optimus. I totally forgot about this. But yeah, pretty much everything you see here is here for a purpose. Nothing is here just for atmosphere, but we cannot really interact with these candles over here. Nor can we interact with these candles. We can check over here. No. So there is the sarcophagus we have interacted with. 3 candles here, 3 other candles here which we can't interact with, and 3 candles on this side which we can't interact with either. 4 candles actually. So but yeah, maybe by triggering this movie scene something has happened and magically the door would open. We can check that. The Zork library says fix the scrolling speed. I will try it for our next Let's Play episode. So we still can't open the door. We can't really interact with the skulls here. Ah, look at this. Here we can interact with something. I'm trying to get back from it again, because I didn't really want to be here. So look, there are two parts of the door, left part and right part, and we can interact with the. Not only can we look up and down, we can interact with the left thing here. And this seems like the first puzzle of the game, where we can. You see this handle? It has the form of a moon. And remember what the sign said? Let me zoom on it again. When the sun and moon are joined in the when the sun and moon are joined, the entrance to eternity is opened. So it becomes pretty obvious, because if you look at this, yeah, come on, scrolling speed. It looks like the left handle is intact and the right handle is broken here. The moon, which was supposed to be here, is broken somehow. So we can only interact with the left one, and it seems like it is the moon. And if I move it with the hand to the sun, I join the sun and moon, and it is enough to open the door. So that's the first puzzle. As Will Bicoy said, the handle on the left door looks like a bit of moon. Yes, and here we see the first cutscene. So now we've entered the temple, and now the game can really start. And I will see you in the next session, when I'll probably have fixed the speed, the scrolling speed, by what Dan says would work. Alright, so give me a 5 or 10 minutes break. I'll try to fix the scrolling speed to make it more handleable for us. Thanks for watching so far.